for really representing
at a young age. And so I work a lot with the younger kids.
Easy to think that you're representing.
what does she think this the
And always says, like, this can't be your first pageant. And I try to tell them I'm really not a pageant girl.
Changing the lives of other children to allow them to follow their own dreams. Let's take a listen to
Of the season two.
and one of the videos that
followers in 2 to 3 weeks.
Gray, she answered the questions here, and wonderful things will very long. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of
To give my best. So because I feel that if you give a child an education,
Matt does.
want late night snack, I really did apply it throughout the pageant. I would too. They all have causes, or they all have a 5 years old. I did Little Miss Philippines. I don't remember much, but I know that in the platform, but also I really have to learn as I go along.
I wanted to know a little bit about your experience as Miss Philippines. If, you know, pageantry is looked
City of the Philippines.
against Miss Australia.
Thanks.
Whatever. But like you saw, she got what?
It impacted me so strongly. Especially, I'm passionate about. It's always something best of both worlds.
4 million followers. Man, she can do wonders with that in the future. I reacted like 2 days ago to Catriona Gray, Miss Universe.
Miss Universe was the one that crowned you of beauty pageants.
Right.
So I
Of my jazz band, right? Or like, no, she's ours. She's practically a Miss Australia, but
I wonder if there was like a Twitter.
they can never lose. And it's also a way to break the cycle of poverty. I just remember why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Those comment hurts when you are in my brain. That's how many times I heard him say
Universe 2018, Catriona is dedicated
NBA.
Music, but
to the Philippines, but
of the way, actually after I was crowned in Thailand, in Bangkok, I was able to go back.
Great questions. Man, I love this Miss Universe. I love Catriona. Awesome.
It's not just lettering, it's a country.
it's very exciting.
Talent competition, I danced and lip synced to stop.
Person for this role. You grew up in Australia. You're
Sash? I believe that's the term for
and I noticed that she whispered something in your.
1 year just because I won and I got the funds or whatever.
I love those 3 Bs. So it's you're freezing outside, and then you won. It was like this title for a while. Can you tell us a little
So I don't know. I had never planned on pursuing
She's my little
title? So even when you became Miss Philippines,
negative aspect is really
song. Like, wow, what an amazing and not fair. So that's why I'm so passionate about
life is
education.
not fair. That's for
Education
sure.
also
That's it. I mean, still she evolved like yes.
given.
Yes.
So I'm
true.
really just learning every step. And said to you, hey, just don't. So yeah, I think really you can find everything in New York and high all throughout. Just to hear, you know, every time I step out, I can hear and everything was just. Was it obvious?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say universes should.
You know, it happens, and I have insecurities, jostles.
For those of you who don't know Tyro Banks is like what the biggest 2018, so that we can learn more about.
TV, on the news, on social media feeds, but I never dreamed of being a beauty queen, which is true, but it's hard to justify when it's have the final.
She is a very assured person, and she knows what she wants.
verse.
I really feel that growing up in a cohesion of cultures. Hi
The
guys.
hostess has nothing to say. That's
mabuhay.
awesome.
Mabuhay!
And then since we're in New York, I just have to ask, you've settled.
Have dropped out of school, or they just don't have an interest in school. So it's really just to help their families make ends meet. So when I saw this, I was like, it really makes me want to orientate towards something that will really educate people. Create an example, I'm a very education.
That's amazing. And I know you've spent some time with
Within Miss Universe and the women that I've talked to.
Lava walk, the everything. So she really incorporated
And we have one more.
Hi.
the Philippines in every aspect of Miss Universe, and that's all.
So happens that when I was growing up, I was very.
And this is more related to basketball. She's not Miss Universe anymore. She's her entire childhood, you know. Her beef.
This. But the one thing that you're talking a ton about is obviously your kid, and Tyra Banks approved it.
Of pageantry, the way that it's able to reach so many different markets or countries. Filipino flags and just the fans and their faces like just lit up. And I would the beauties of a competition like Miss Universe where you get women from all over the world coming together. The same girl from a year
I wonder on which platform. I'm thinking maybe.
can be.
Yep, she's an
the
international
different traditions
person
that they
like
carry,
me.
how that makes them affect
And not about the mission and the message.
Miss Universe. And usually it's about the platform.
I like the
How long have you been here?
5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side is just like the opposite.
Roasty, like toasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
where it's super cold because I mean it's south.
And literally I was just sitting there and we're all tired and I just ate, so I'm having a bit of a
Give you some sort of comfort that maybe
imagine this scene.
I feel like it's such a huge part, and I couldn't
It
help
is.
but notice
Let's discover Miss Universe Catriona Gray.
pageantry
Was the best advice you had gotten from
The 90s. So you
about those.
to reach your destination or final journey. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then
It's something that
Really
shine through. Yeah. I hope that's helpful.
Australian by citizenship.
I was
Besides the
gonna say,
cold.
and winter, you're into that.
You know, it's a very simple advice, but being there and seeing it and sensing it with
Birthday, the woman previously known as
Because Catriona Gray, I'm pretty
Miss Philippines.
those
questions. The only, I guess,
Look a certain way. Like I have experience and I'm sure we inform each other, how we connect. And that's why I think it's a powerful, powerful tool.
throughout her
that you gained beautiful, and I might just have to steal it. But I like that it was something.
you know, she's not bubbly. She's not really laughing with her. I feel like she's not walk to do. So, good job.
Hi, Catriona.
Hello.
Congratulations again on your title.
Thank you. How much expectation is on you, but just take it day by day, which I feel like I've changed that much. But to see that I have such this,
From scavenging, you know, was it like 2 years?
when I think about it, it's really something that I've always been passionate. I was so hands-on, and so I felt that when I walked, it really impacted me when I saw it. And in the heat of the summer day, these families, they don't have aircon.
You're kind of looking to give back to children and invest in. Now that you're settled
For legs.
their education, so can you tell?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Because it's the 3Bs as well. And
So I love it so far, besides the weather, very much in Australia. And I think you can be both. I mean, because she told me that you can get overwhelmed because it is such a high pressure environment. You know, it was really hard, you know,
I
to always have a thick
understand.
skin because someone can get the honor of knowing that I'll wear a Philippine sack.
Of 4 million does it all. I think.
in your soul, you know, at that point, because you let your guard down.
To something that your dad taught you to.
Yes.
Right? I know
One
you had
small step at a time, engaging them again and finding something that they're interested in and want to pursue. Just things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then we have 3. How are you going to take?
And reality hits you in the face. That's what you read. Or if you don't.
And including some of your fans are some pretty big names now, which I think is
Draw people to causes that they might not have known about or, you know, connect. If you want, when I was able to experience,
Yeah, but once you go to the slums and
I could be, and that now when you think of Philippines, it's like the 3B.
the 3
more about the look.
Look how they're supporting me. They deserve.
To be poked for future content. Yo. Sash.
was welcomed.
Well, I think at that point I would
previous Miss Philippines.
my uniqueness, if that makes sense. So for knowing this, or like when you get into that situation and your adrenaline, it wasn't just I'm candidate number this.
Good luck on your media.
I have insecurities just like anyone else. Our society.
And I appreciate
So if you can imagine, that really has the potential to do so much good.
has answered my question. Apparently she is 5'10". And from time, yo, I agree. One of her walks was so sultry.
Those younger experiences
I think it's so funny because everyone textiles are fabric quality.
on that stage in particular.
And that's what a real diplomat
mental fortitude that I had to do as a candidate prize, because I still feel like ever pageant you pursue or whatever your dreams are in pageantry,
happen. And turn on your notification bell.
jewelry, like everything was just as beautiful as I
Platform a little bit.
Yeah, so of course I grew up in Australia and then I found myself in the Tyra Banks. How is it that
Way to New York, Australia, that were like, wait, she's ours, which I thought was really funny.
That
I am a Miss Philippines, but I can't blame them from being excited, from, really help me just have an open mind to be more understanding. And
you guys said it was a... Welcome back to MGNDA ko. Ako po si Ovela. And Thailand. And after that, she came to New York.
the world of pageantry, and not just pageantry, but any social cause that we like to lend our voice to, or how. Yeah.
Well, we have the gin coming together with all now playing in the pageant, and then now
Not put together today. I'm having a bad hair day.
But also better than the previous one that I reacted to, because we so yeah, let's do this without further ado.
went to school in the U.S.
Yes, I studied by correspondence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's pumping and everything's just happening at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and
we sing.
yeah.
So you went to school for music.
Sent me is Miss Universe Catriona Gray on Build Series HD.
Her place. Good luck to you both.
That so it's probably really cold as well in New York right now.
And it's
we were having dinner after rehearsal.
Still be able to make a difference with the number.
We're so multi proves that I'm
Tyra approved, so that's all you need.
Sad.
These other contestants, like how that work here.
In depth, this
no, because I really feel like I'm
that's when you really understand what poverty is, man. Like
a month and a half ago, I believe, I actually released my first original
On the stage in a red dress, and on December 16th, and even when you
day and saw someone in like ballet flats and a dress, and I was, what is their
kid and as an adult, that is wow. Kenya, I think, is like the biggest slum in Africa.
It's just I don't know if you guys have ever everyone was just so excited.
Philippines role, like she's talking about Filipino.
I'm so happy to be here. My name is Catriona. Says something that would happen in a matter of seconds.
Her earpiece and everything, and
I did grow up with those two sides of the world, if you would. And
so she was Miss Philippines twice, as Lee's voice is engraved.
can really push as many causes as I can.
see the woman.
And I just
But that's the thing, like she is her beans, like it's a national sport. Who don't know, I lived in Algeria, Morocco, Kenya, the States.
Hour two about living in New York.
there's so many things to do.
Yeah.
So
That is why I asked you to send me more interviews of Miss Universe.
I feel like a Filipina, like a Filipino woman. It just Philippines. I had never experienced poverty firsthand. Like, of course, I've seen it on the where I feel overwhelmed or like
Made the pageant a little.
myself for who I am. Sometimes I'll have a breakout. Sometimes I'll feel the journey. Let me in on a trick or something.
And the best thing is everything in.
And the thing that I really like here is the point guard of the Lakers right now. And
Professor, she just told me take every day as it comes because
Her talking about her platform.
Runner up will take
Title holders.
Their platform to animal welfare or the environment.
3 pageants? Wow. Well, basically she was meant to do this.
hi.
Mabuhay.
Congratulations and thank you for making us.
Being Irish, Scottish, right? So she does not have
From Twitter.
Joy. So, yeah, it's something
Well,
I definitely
you're
want to
Filipino.
pursue. And
So
and
you're
actually,
blood.
my friend Miss Denmark and Sweden, I'm like, other cause that I'm very passionate about is being an advocate.
So I can't imagine you kind of have done it, seen it all. I feel like so.
her parents were like there during the new Miss Universe.
Pageants have gone beyond.
So yeah, have a great day and I will see you in the next video. But they're probably talking about
You can imagine our radio at home is
top model.
majority of them make a living from scavenging through the trash and finding and selling riverbanks. Like comment on my walk, I was just like, oh my god.
At the time, people said that she's 5'11", but she's actually 5'10 and a half.
I'm
Settled,
fresh.
I guess. Yeah. What are you most looking for?
The opportunity that this person is given to make a change in the world.
So it's just things like that, dealing with people's expectations and just, you know, accepting.
Be
It's really made me have an open, just like everyone else.
that's
And
just
it's
humanity.
a
That's
constant.
it. It's in New York once again, I think.
I know that Tyra Banks actually retweeted one of your walks from
About her and her journey and her mission.
I researched about our culture and our history, and you know, there was so much more weight to it.
Little Miss Philip.
Big figure. There are so many people who have these expectations of me to always. Found myself in a place called Tondo, Manila. It's literally within Manila, our capital. Everyone's spirits were so high, and you know, just
Catriona Gray was just 13 years, and how, you know, you have a little bit.
overwhelmed because there's just so much that I want.
Girl, show them those beauty
Called We're in This Together.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
that I really. She's won through.
Oh, my final look.
Yeah, that's very.
That's
I try.
Let's move on to the interview. We've seen this before.
Philippines everywhere.
Educate, create awareness.
Right.
Laban.
What do I do? What do I post? What do I
don't
say?
even
Everybody's
realize.
listening. Everybody's watching.
Like this. But you need to like, well, when you're
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Catriona. It was
But over time, I think it really. His father built a company called Big Baller Brand. So be
Tyra Banks just tweeted at me. It's crazy.
loved her answers. Yeah, it's important what she said. Like you have to
Bricks, our silhouettes and our symbolism, and I
her wardrobe
it for HIV and AIDS.
and musical.
Recyclables to feed their families.
Can you believe that you could actually make?
going to be something like super inspiring, whatever, and that would have just gone
sorry to
through one ear and out the other.
I couldn't absorb anything. That whole thank you.
These two very different countries and experiencing different cultures into your role as Miss Universe.
You know, she has a good head on her shoulder. We got to really know what her mission is. You know, we got. I like this intro.
You get taken to America, and
Oh, okay. So that was going to be one.
Think and you over process and then you
Don't
start
put
to
too much pressure on
kids. I've also worked with some of the teens because a lot of them
is it crazy?
making Catriona Gray comfortable, and it's really
Philippines in my wardrobe. I wanted to showcase the Filipino tech
bite your hand
Practical
off
as that?
if you do.
Because I thought it was.
support them. It's just you would never think that they would, but for example, I've had stands. It's not
You'll have it delivered to you.
Hosts think that Catriona Gray does not know the look, and then what's really important is
this, but it's true. And how
it's the excitement.
how do you even be a model, but you could be someone who
Then that's what you should do. You should listen to it as a podcast. It is Australian, but you know
Land representing the Philippines, and then easier, less nerve-wracking.
to achieve a certain thing that your life will be
Lose track of who you are, what you're even doing in those moments. More negative criticisms.
I can totally so many places to eat. There's so many things to see. I'm a little bit over want to do. There's so many places I want to go broader, which is the so there was that weight. Yeah.
Definitely. And even hearing you talk about that, I can't even
enjoyed the quote.
Different because competing for Miss Philippines, I really just say you need to feel comfortable. You need to feel like you, and that
the pageant. It's so much, and I'm sure you kind of just with you. And I wish you all the luck for your reign as Miss Universe.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's amazing.
I had a matching silver outfit,
right now.
and I was just I was feeling.
It's scary too, just to see how people live there. It's wow.
that in a different way,
Good question.
or even how you combat some of those.
Have Australian blood. She is blood. She's
Leap in followers was just it took me by so much
one of my questions is where
girls
nice.
to be announced as Miss Universe. It really just takes so long to sink in. No, it's the phenomenon. But we have the 3Bs, which is boxing, basketball.
Million followers is a bit.
Pretty sure that she must have traveled the world. I mean, she studied in the States. It was rushed, you know, they asked her like 2 or 3 questions. Her her body is not a bandana.
Faceted, and I think when you read
So I wanted to ask you what
The walk, the love.
this huge
Experiences and living in
just shows their level of love and dedication just to support.
weeks or something crazy like that.
Crazy.
Or listen to podcasts or whatever. All right. Well, I
give any kind of pageant girl on
And beauty pageant.
yeah.
I think that's one of home to the Philippines. Walked out on that stage, no matter what happened. I knew that I felt comfortable. I felt as
For followers, I mean, just with the name now, like now she's gonna be famous and everything. So a few other countries, you know, just as a visitor too.
treat different people, values that were taught to us by our families, what was ingrained to us by our.
Probably a hard at the same time, and that's.
It really over.
Wow, look at the angels
for
behind
joining
her.
us tonight. And a special thanks to
There was almost a war. Also,
She has
is
such in depth with Catriona Gray, and this
myself.
I love that. And you are lip singing, but you actually those kids as well, right?
Yeah, I've worked in Tondo as like I help out in class, you know, with
Oh yeah, that sucks.
because I've been doing my charity work for 3 food coma, and I'm sitting there, and then I start getting tagged, and it's
That's so awesome.
thank you.
And
I'm looking.
I have bad days or days with all of my senses and just seeing the reality of it every day.
No one's
it's like, you know
perfect.
what? You might not be feeling good today, but you know, there's so many things to be grateful for.
Eat something and watch this, you know, between Australians and Filipinos.
and also like
The Philippines, not just, you know, as a title, but also in
What I'm doing made it worthwhile. Like, why am I pursuing this platform? This is the reason why we go about our daily lives. What are our free access to quality?
YFP. Yeah, she'll be able to make
wanting to be the next Miss Universe.
A platform now, and so many people are listening to what I have to say.
crown right here, and I'm super excited about that too because it is.
A few causes.
and that's when those comments hurt. So
Want to go out and do a little bit of a fierce moment here or whatever. But then I would see the Philippines making a qualitative difference to just to make those people proud, you know, that they came all the way out, which means fighting. So
Laban.
I just wanted you know, just go out and have the best day that you can. Hope that
Miss Universe 2018. And the one thing that I have to ask, I'm sure you. So, what kind of role do you think social media is? I mean, I can imagine having 4
something that I really stay true to is games and songs. The people that you meet are from all different.
That's crazy. I'm sitting here like beaming watching.
heels because
Storytelling and you know the little
sister who's taller than I am. My God, apparently, because you guys don't have, you know, you're not allowed to. Then
I try it. A creative person,
You
so
gotta
I
stand out.
interjected that into every. This piece of advice was from Rachel Peters, who is my predecessor.
like, my God, even after, look at her waving like the queen.
Called Young Focus Philippines, and they give
Young
free,
Focus
free
Philippines.
education. I was placed on my head, just felt like I was in a.
I loved this interview. I really reacted
You,
to,
like, I
and
feel
it's
like
on
you're like the
Patreon.
true triple threat when I hear about all.
Past probably it was still very shallow. It was more at her outfit and wow, the slums. Like I went to the slums in Nairobi.
Speaking of your platform, I do.
I mean, trying to look nice while being warm is like an impossible balance
It's
to it.
you know, I guess developed countries or whatever.
Spirits. I think we're also showing that women can be so multifaceted. Like we can't just.
It really feels like possible.
Can I just say there are people who are amazing. I walked out the other. Oh.
Okay, so somebody says, could you tell us?
Up, I was the leader speaking to a global audience, and with that comes an amazing.
The beef, man. No, she's not Filipina. She's Australian. No. So that's why she feels more Filipina than Australian.
Just thought it was funny that, as I said,
Okay, so I'm gonna cut this short because the video is already very.
You still have today.
you know, if you give a child an education and give them a love for learning, they could have an.
How does that compare to now becoming Miss Universe.
It's so
The insecurities you overcame after winning the crown, or any insecurities.
so it's really just building up that
Babies. It's so funny because when I was watching,
In person, you know. So what is she talking about?
I stay true to myself, and I think that's so important because in pageantry there will be people. Okay, I wish you the best. Firstly, in what
your foundation, your roots with your parents and growing up, and I think that's really important. If Tyra a bit of a different motivation than some of these other people, and I can imagine
Of Montreal, like 6 hours, something like.
I was in musical.
Oh, what your strength is.
I really wanted to
Sash.
embody in every aspect. So even as a Miss, the best performance that I can give.
amazing.
Them to it in some way, somehow see themselves in that person or in.
If you're at work and you are allowed to, you know, stream.
Theory there is quite. It's very in my reign. I hope that I
Other at that point. So any advice I'm sure you could have gotten at that point.
Oh, so
3 generations of music because my dad was born in the 40s, my mom was born in the 60s, and I'm born in
think that belongings, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
academic career, and then hopefully find work that could, and it opens up the most interesting conversations. And I think no, not at all.
They didn't have time to go more.
Whole realization of, oh wait, I'm not just speaking mainly to Filipinos anymore. I'm reaction videos, and
From charity with the children. Do you want to lend your
our communities.
Ooh,
Supportive parents, and yeah, I was always expect beauty queen
theory or something like that. So she knows this.
corners of the world, all different walks of
BBB.
cause
Nuts, man. So
use the right way. Values are and impact on the children where they don't even have toys to play with, but they find things in the trash. And
you guys actually.
And touching so many people. I know that especially in the
Uber Eats is
It's not what's important here.
also did that kind of support just
have a down date. That is not the case. How they go about it definitely makes my awareness do something more than, you know, show them a cute outfit.
I'm sorry, but the hostess is bothering me because she has no charisma.
A
Thick
lawyer,
eyebrows.
budding
Beautiful.
doctor.
Graphic design.
in general?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this one is about 30 minutes long. So
So I was a hermit for Christmas and New Year, but
years old when her mom had a dream that she would become Miss Universe, walking along.
is
The new Miss Universe.
or what I'm having for lunch. But
could shine among.
out onto that stage that night, every time I saw
As Miss Universe.
Give them that lava walk. Are vulnerable, you know, when you're like tired at the end of the.
which is so amazing to see because
So many people.
I met to see the reaction.
Unique, just like we all are, you know, and
Don't get the reality of an education, and maybe if they do end up going to school, they get pulled up, bombarded on social media with both positive and negative comments. That's a great thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I even saw just doing some.
that cause or so. Yeah, I think social media is an amazing thing. If with our hair and makeup, experience it myself, like
there in the Philippines.
a bigger reason for wanting to pursue. Social media has definitely revolutionized or transformed.
Well, guess what? You walked how you wanted.
She wanted to. But yeah,
Education. And these children were just born.
Then you moved to the Philippines. You also
all platforms together, like that anymore. I think Miss Universe has evolved, like in the.
Out early, that's drawn from a surface perspective. They don't really see pride.
It's pride,
It just,
yes.
Like, I look back at it as one of the fondest aspects of my journey.
She's traveled. She's well spoken.
Music is just something that's really been throughout my whole life. I grew up with
of pageantry and the whole idea.
they don't have proper homes, and if you imagine that impact,
That, you know, you gotta delve deep into that so that you. Kumusta kayo? Mabuhay!
Wear this color, do your hair like this, walk like this, smile. Like, how lucky am I that I was born into a circumstance that I was able to be given born into the circumstance.
And YouTube probably. But if I had to choose one, that probably would be
3 years, which is longer than my pageant career. And that was just something that always anchored me in
blood thing is strong, you know, so
childhood and watching that, I obviously was not the person who became.
she is grounded, you know. Steve Harvey
people that I don't know, but that they're willing to do that for you.
Day, and basically there is like an open
Forward in this year, I'll experiences people who's competing and everything. And there's, if I had to, who may just have the best intentions as mentors saying, you should
time.
My question is, aside
Ball's father's company, Alonzo Ball.
journeys of the girls themselves or what they represent.
I think it's not like it starts with
I felt like the entire audience was rooting for you.
A supporter heard the word Philippines or saw a flag, like the joy.
her interview. This interview was longer.
But there are times that something will get to you, a comment will hurt
Like a living to know more about her, and that's awesome.
you all week.
Oh, I'm very excited.
We're in the Philippines and everybody loves it, so there's no problem.
5, you were in Little Miss Philippines, right? Blame my mom for that. Perspectives. As a Miss Philippines, we love pageants.
Yeah.
Like part of my journey. I was really,
2018. It was her interview with
oh my gosh, they're watching everything that we do, or you over.
Lee.
Yeah, you'll get used to it eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
So now we're, but even you talking about,
And you know, as a Miss Philippines, there is not even as a Miss Philippines yet.
Instagram.
Year ago, you know, I don't
And that is why the entire Philippines is very proud of her.
pull their family out of that circumstance. So I work with an organization.
Blood is Filipino and Irish.
Is what my
States, Canada, and I've been to his exploit.
really see what we're trying to represent.
overseas Filipinos very proud of
Thank you, world. The way that they carry the candidates through, and the way that they
you were looking out in the crowd and seeing
Really irking me, man. It's like, come on, it's a big deal for Catriona.
be through the many causes or just whatever makes the most difference or whatever opportunity I have, I want to take it. You know, just silly things like that. And especially as a public
of all places. So you were in Thailand.
feeling the high spirit.
Really well.
Always skipping
Oh, she's
around
my
the
little
different
sister,
generations.
'cause I was
and
born in the
I was
80s.
always in school choir growing.
Just days before her 25th, beyond the time when social media even existed, but
Because she's
Christmas.
she knows that she's using Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and
to be done up 24/7. Like we wake up with, I want to eat everywhere.
I'm a pageant girl myself, so what are some advice you would?
And kind of
Yourself.
coil up in stress. I just tried to be, okay, I just have to get through this day, do my best on the
just be happier.
trees and people is just crazy. And to have Tyro,
Oh, I can only do good things in this period of time, like
you know, a repair on a dress, tell us. And these are
of the fade, you know, it goes from what is it,
ear. And every time I've watched this, I want to know.
don't worry about what they say. I feel like I'm a candidate.
I wonder when she became Miss Philippines.
That would come over me, that I was able to be there and give, you know, give my country some dream state.
Yeah.
It didn't feel real yet,
It's understandable.
which, you know, I know a lot of girls say, sure, going because these days, especially with the women that I've competed with,
Embrace your uniqueness. No, fun to watch, but I felt like it was too short. I felt like
their lives, the values that are ingrained to them. So I grew up with that, with the
peace,
I died. So
and I felt like
right now by the spice crack that I possibly can. Whether
just like I said, she really sounds like an ambassador, a diplomat. And
and we get to share about not only like our favorite
In the audience,
places in our country or to find out where we want to go, but also like
the term sultress, you know, it was classy and sexy.
as a candidate, there is a certain pressure because
And if I say big baller brand,
I really feel like, and I had the pleasure of traveling a lot in my life. Take every day as it comes, because if you start out on day one and you're like, oh,
Bangkok.
so I hid all Christmas.
Wait after work, get home, you know, drink some coffee and
Huge responsibility. I've been perfect. You'll never have a complaint. You'll never have
3 million.
Ashley, Carson, and Lou. I'm Steve Harvey. Your first one.
Dad is Scottish
There you
and your
go.
mom is Filipino, and
and I've been looking forward to this interview.
Miss Philippines.
and they always back her up, and it's beautiful to see. Like she
And what we're trying to do with the platform of pageantry, that will kind of change some people's perspectives, but from supporters all around the world too, so I'll let them have that.
Well, you've also competed. You were, and I mean, it's not your first time being crowned and getting an incredible.
she's been an actress and everything, so yeah, she's huge. You have to see that she wants to help people, and hopefully she'll be able to Instagram, but she's not forgetting the rest of the world.
Overwhelming, especially when you get them like that fast.
Right?
You're like, what?
Hands-on in my wardrobe to how about candidates and who
You talking about that universal platform. I think you're kind of the perfect.
as much as of an impact, positive impact,
Ago or something like that.
not represent
Is you have to know what your uniqueness is, and then you gotta
way plays I want to see. I want to try and watch all night after the crowd. Hear the support, and that alone just
It's also
makes me
nerve-wracking.
feel like we have a
you
phrase
don't want this
that
supposed to, and I don't think that they, you know, these Miss
Miss Philippines and this sash to develop anything as a candidate, it was mental fortitude, because
really
to be
embrace that, and it's also nice to
my mom and my dad are just the proudest parents, and I'm very
Miss Philippines or Philippines amongst all the others.
book was up to my experience where supporters would be like,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a master's certificate in music theory from Berkeley.
There you
and
go.
Everyone, I think people have a perception that once you're successful, once
How do you say that? I think that's
yes, like we don't have Super Bowl.
We're going to head over to some audience questions. I think we have one for
all. It's Lonzo.
See how some people can have a negative perception of beauty pageants, but I feel that tomorrow you'll be in a better mood. You know, just that they teach the kids. It's really a creative environment that's colorful because,
from your country.
yeah, like I was thinking backstage, maybe I want.
Or her
So many people get so passionate.
Imagine then getting whisked away.
universe held, you know, 2018. So if I understand well, it was entirely
I was able to bring joy to people. What an amazing thing.
And US, I'm not sure about in other places, but there is some criticism.
the rest of other people's you know, trash and beige yellow to black. I love that fade.
Because we haven't done any media. We're going back for my homecoming, but
I know it by heart now. Problem, if it still exists, does not exist in the Philippines.
Hardly remember it. But I know Demi, who is the previous.
to see the reaction video,
Embracing her ambassador of the
Cool.
Twitter. There, you know, she's the one who created America's Next.
I'm passionate about is breaking down the stigma so that people can
You know, like she has a master's in.
really lost and overwhelmed or emotional. Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right decision? Or I just feel
And it's
so.
That's what I was
think
saying.
it really helps.
The hostess tone and energy, but she had
Well, actually, she was like, it's a little bit loose, so be careful. Doesn't.
hope with
It's known as a garbage dump where all of the trash from the city goes, and families there, the majority overwhelms me.
Woo! Did you hear that reaction video? So she was.
And that's what, as Miss Universe, I really want to utilize as a tool to. So definitely another that brought me so much
Fashion, well, I don't know about fashion, but more like modeling icon out there.
really overwhelms me.
Woo! Did you hear that?
Next day too. So yeah.
That goes back.
I think that I was able to bring that kind of joy to people that I've never some live music.
Important to your platform because now you also have to tie this into social media a little bit because the Miss Universe
Watches the reaction videos, awesome.
And it really just makes me feel like, wow, I'm sending my country just yet. So when I do, and you know, it's just as something I'm
Research and seeing what people were saying on Twitter. There were a ton of people from Australia.
That thing around a difference for the rest of her life, really.
on fleek, which is we want children to fall in love with learning.
So nice chatting.
And it's heartbreak.
How they-
And I say like me, because for those of you,
Now you're living in the US.
yeah, so
No, definitely. There is that
was Miss Universe.
too, and it's something
well
that I
said.
really want to achieve this year is really just make it
That is tall. Like she could play basketball, you know, W and
support, not even just from Filipinos. We're blessed to have such and fall off. It was as practical as that. Hi, everyone.
Getting your platform out there.
Like to first off say like that superpower. Can they? Then pep talk I need to give myself every.
Tell us about your followers, because now you can, living in New York, you
Oh,
can just
come
say,
on,
hey,
stop
I want
focusing
some
on the
Shake Shack.
followers.
I know you're staying at this hotel. If you need anything, if you want
I love how she talks.
support you, and I think that's really something special.
That's also the perk of what she said.
Watching, remember to like the video, subscribe.
Was it weird at all to be competing against?
Just I would break out into a smile like every
Yeah.
time I step.
Philippines?
I was like,
yeah, so you've rocked.
and like
Thanks for.
you know, as a Miss Universe, I'm not constrained to how many causes I can lend my voice.
Sorry. Why do I keep saying?
Did just that. Now as Miss
I feel that they can just get tested without having that fear. So yeah, definitely.
Philippines.
Philippines!
States. She's
Life, and I think that gives it such an amazing energy.
appreciate that very much.
You know, some of them. And I just
No
look
big
around to
deal.
my table, and like no one's noticing that I'm freaking out, and then I go open mind to how different cultures.
Ryan Seacrest, and it was.